Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Vitaly Kurchin, top firearm rights lawyer in Washington State. It's the start of another year, which means it's the start of a new legislative session in Washington State, and the gun bills already filed a few days into the session are plentiful. Monday marked the first day of the 2025 legislative session in Washington State, and in this video, I'm going to discuss all of the gun bills that have been introduced at the start of the session. One thing I have to emphasize at the beginning of this video is that the legislative session just started, so this video will only discuss those bills that have already been formally filed. Additional bills could be filed as the session progresses. One notable gun-related bill that has not yet been filed but is expected to be is a new 11% tax on the sale of firearms and ammunition. I will keep making new videos throughout the legislative session to bring updates on where bills stand, so be sure to check in periodically. Now, let's move on to the bills already introduced. The first bill I want to discuss, and arguably the one with the most impact, is House Bill 1163 and its companion bill in the Senate, Senate Bill 5140. This bill will require a permit to purchase a firearm. The permit application will be processed by Washington State Patrol and will be valid for 5 years before it would have to be renewed. This is very similar in style to the way concealed pistol licenses work, except that this permit will be issued by Washington State Patrol instead of local police and will be required for every firearm purchase. WSP will be required to issue the permit so long as the applicant is not prohibited by state or federal law from possessing a firearm and the applicant has completed a firearm safety training program within the last 5 years. With regard to the firearm training safety program, there are also changes. While that requirement is not new, House Bill 1163 will make some crucial additions. First, the firearm safety training program will have to incorporate live fire shooting exercises, which is not something that had previously been required as part of the training program. Additionally, in order to receive a concealed pistol license, as opposed to just a permit to purchase, the applicant would also need to demonstrate compliance with a firearm safety training program, but a training program for concealed carry must include a minimum of 50 rounds of ammunition firing training. Finally, WSP would be tasked with certifying such firearm safety training programs, and the program would have to reapply for recertification every 5 years. If passed, this bill would not take effect until November 1st, 2026. The next impactful bill is House Bill 1132. This bill would prohibit a dealer from delivering more than one firearm per person within any 30-day period. It would also prohibit a dealer from delivering more than 100 rounds of .50 caliber ammo or more than 1,000 rounds of any other caliber ammo per person within any 30-day period. A dealer violating this rule would first be cited with a civil infraction in the amount of $500. Repeated violations would be classified as misdemeanors or gross misdemeanors. Putting this another way, you can only buy one firearm from the same dealer every 30 days. If you wanted to purchase multiple firearms in a span of less than 30 days, you would have to buy them from different dealers. The same with the ammunition limits. Next, Senate Bill 5098 will ban carry of firearms in park facilities where children are likely to be present, the premises of government buildings, and the premises of county fairs. There is an exception for transportation properties such as ferry and train depots, where firearms can be possessed so long as they remain in locked cases. There is also an exception for gun shows that are held on county fairgrounds. Next, Senate Bill 5056 addresses situations where Washington State Patrol may not have access to all necessary systems in order to perform a background check. This bill arises out of a situation that occurred in November when Washington State's court databases were down for 2 weeks. State Patrol could not process any background checks during that time. This bill will authorize State Patrol to perform background checks using whatever databases are available if the system's outage persists for at least 7 days. Next up, Senate Bill 5099-5099 will significantly revamp the way firearm dealers are licensed by moving away from licensing by local police agencies to licensing by Washington State Patrol. It would also give State Patrol authority to conduct periodic unannounced inspections of dealers' places of business during business hours, as well as a whole host of other requirements and changes that are too numerous to list in this video. House Bill 1152 concerns storage of firearms in vehicles and in residences. It will require that all pistols stored in a vehicle must be stored unloaded in a container that is opaque, locked, hard-sided, and affixed within the vehicle. The container must be concealed from view from outside the vehicle, and the vehicle must be locked. Similar rules apply to storing a shotgun or a rifle, except that a shotgun or a rifle may be stored in a soft-sided container. But if stored in a soft-sided container, the shotgun or rifle must also have a trigger lock. Hard-sided container excludes a glove compartment or a center console of a car. There are some exceptions, including for those who use their vehicle as their home. In that case, the vehicle is treated as a residence. There is also an exception for those who are actively engaged in lawful hunting activities, police officers, and members of the armed forces while on duty. For keeping a firearm in a residence, the firearm must be securely stored. That means locked or disabled using a tamper-resistant mechanical lock or other safety device, and kept out of plain sight or stored within a locked gun safe or similar locked container. Enforcement depends on the severity of the violation. A simple violation with no consequences is a civil infraction in an amount up to $1,000. If a violation allows a prohibited person to possess the firearm, the penalty is a misdemeanor. If the prohibited person uses the firearm in the commission of any crime, the penalty is a gross misdemeanor. And if the prohibited person causes personal injury or death, the penalty is a Class C felony. So that wraps up this breakdown of the early gun bills filed during the 2025 legislative session in Washington State. As I said before, I will make future videos with updates as the session unfolds. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.